Yeah, I guess I should probably post this in other areas, shouldn't I? Doom. There we go. What are those for? Do. Blue. Hmm. Thank you. Good evening, all. Hopefully, the night's treating you well. Going live now. Just gonna be doing some panel work since mine are ancient. So I'll be chilling. There we go. Post. I have noticed. Oh, right. I didn't clear those. May as well just go here while I wait for the ads to roll. And no drop frames this time. That's a good sign. Yeah, this screen doesn't actually tell me how long I've been live. Uh, should be alright. I'll give it a couple more minutes. Just while I'm checking some stuff. I'm realizing I also brought up my tablet. I'm not going to be using that a ton while doing panel work, I think. Oh well. I guess it's just a good force of habit. And then that posts everything, so we're good. Up. Alright. So we're going to be feeling things out a little bit while we're doing this, but that's nothing entirely new. I guess first thing... do... Yeah, that works. Do need one more. May as well just make a template for myself for later. That works. And then the fun visual effect of that. And then how would I crop this? Oh, is it not like that? Oh, refer to editing layer. Oh, not that. Oh, that's why. I just got a blank ass folder. Doot. There we go. Gives us a tileable checkerboard pattern to work with, which is mainly what I want. Bump. Checkerboard. There we go. Here's just the old example that I'm referencing off of. I will need you later. But we'll at least get you ready. Up. Alright, so first things first, how do I want to do this? I guess I could look into making it frosted like I have been doing with some of my stuff. Hmm. Now I'm gonna need a bit more rounding than that. Might be smarter to just do it this way. Oh, that's actually not enough. I guess I am working on a bigger sample size here. If I do it at 2,000, that's just gonna make a circle. Okay. What about 200? Is that enough? Almost. 300? Oh, I'm seeing that little bar. That won't work like that. There we go. Gives us a relatively good shape to work off of. I feel like there should have been an easier way to do that. Maybe not. Oh well. You're still good, right? Yeah, I didn't leave you out. Alright, let's see. So we're starting off with you. A little more. No, don't blur it. That should work as a general border for now. Guess this is why we've got the tablet out. Do I want to be semi-lame and just make them rivets? Guess I could. But I guess in a way... No, you go there. Well, I guess actually in theory. Da 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 da. Ooch. is not going to be super noticeable on this, so why don't we do that for the moment, just so we can see what we're doing. May not be needed all the way up there. Yeah, we're gonna have fun with this. Okay. Hey there, Non. Welcome in. Hope the evening is treating you all right. And welcome into me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Me fucking around trying to decide how to design new panels. Because I'm realizing the ones that I'm currently showing on Twitch are relatively ancient, so I probably should update those. Oh, very nice. What's the project you're starting on? Because I know you mentioned yesterday that you were trying to get back into the swing of things. Oh boy. It's got different movement thresholds based on how I'm zoomed. Oh, that's awful. It's an old side project. This is more of a tinkering sub-project within that. Well, there's nothing wrong with revisiting an older subject. You've at least got some familiarity when it comes down to it, so it'll come back to you eventually what you were attempting to do. So that should at least help you out in that department at least. Just put that at... Oh boy, can I not put it? That's weird. Note to self then, this is a funky ass option. Okay, so how do I effectively move you? Because apparently my key tapping has different ranges depending on how zoomed in I am, which is very unhelpful. Um, that should work. There we go. One of the issues is you've moved to a whole new tool chain. I'm not sure the definition of, whoops, tool chain at the moment, but I'm assuming that's essentially meaning a new tool set that requires a different set of like coding and such. There. And then we go back to 25. But if you've got good ideas for it, that's definitely an advantage. Is it a specific gaming project or just a general tool that you may want to use going forward? I've switched text editors because the old one got inundated with AI bullcrap, but the new one requires lots of hand-tuned customization. Well, it's not inherently a bad thing. It at least means you should be able to fiddle with it a bit better. It should work. Because at least if I'm thinking about it right, you'd be working with a new tool set, but it requires a bit more, I guess, elbow grease on your side to make it work how you want to make it work, and then you can just have fun with it from there. That should work out fine. The side project overall is a game engine. The subproject within that is specifically about having really good text handling. Okay. Well, it would certainly be good to have your own game engine to work with. Especially if you're able to actually get the text handling to be, I'm trying to think of the best phrasing here, crisp, I suppose. I'm assuming by text handling, you would mean like displaying text from within your game engine for like cutscene shenaniganry and such. To make the editor act right, but once it does, very powerful. Oh, very, very powerful. Okay. Well, very powerful is always into. God, my English has been awful today. At least making sure that it's powerful and working for you in the way that you want is very much a good thing. Where did I put that? There. Up. Do you think it's going to be a relatively long side project, or should it be a relatively easy one to, right, clipping layer? Do you think it should be a relatively easy one to figure out? Um, you know what? I don't think I want to do it that way. This is that layer, so then invert, then do that. Select, shrink that by 40. More. Let's see. It's kind of all sorts of text handling. So diagnostic text like logging in errors on screen for message boxes and UI. Okay. That will be definitely, or that will be nice once you get it there then. I'd put that on the goddamn layer. Up. This goes under there. It doesn't become a clipping layer. Then we do that. Then we shrink it by 80. Big thing you really want to nail down is handling floating point, which is actually a really hard problem. Well, you've got time to think on it at least, since it is your own personal engine that you're trying to build, so that's at least an advantage you've got right now. Hey, other Frank. That does just kind of come with the territory, though, of when you're trying to put together your own wrench, right? So once you are able to tackle that, it should help you out with a larger number of things. I also wanted to do lighting on this, so there's tons of research, but it means you've got to read scientific papers, get it done, and understand it. Oh boy, if you're gonna have to dig into scientific papers to make this work, then I wish you the greatest of luck with that. That cannot be easy to deal with. Actually, how would I want to do these? It's metal, so there's probably two ways to do this. Oh, I'm only selected there. Invert. There we go. I'll get that showing on there at least. Like if you think about how you turn a binary integer into a decimal text, you can essentially just keep dividing by 10 and then use the remainder for each digit. It's at points like this that me making myself a robot VTuber doesn't help because I'm not very good at programming. So I don't usually think like this. Think about how you turn a binary integer into a decimal text. You can just keep divided by 10, use the remainder for each digit. I think I understand. But I guess getting that to work within programming terms is probably the hard part, isn't it? Yeah, that part's not inherently hard. But when you start putting in a decimal point, once you start putting in a decimal point, that it gets ridiculously hard. Yeah. Math is fun like that. You have to do quite a number of things to actually make it work for you. Okay. That's going to make it a bit much, but we can figure it out. It's even harder because the way computers store fractions is very tricky. I can't say I've had to think about how computers store fractions before, and it's very tricky to make it fast and correct. Yeah. Otherwise, you would just have something chugging in the background while trying to understand how to just let pi go on for infinitum. And you don't necessarily want to fuck with pi that dangerously. Shrink that by 10. That's fine. Invert. There. I know that I have to do a little bit of code optimization with work shenanigans at the moment. And that's partly what they look to me for, even though they don't train me on how to do anything. So it's more me just flailing until I figure out how to make it work. But I've definitely had to deal with optimization. Not in ways that I can figure out inherently, but in ways. Shrink that by 10. You know, that's not bad. That just makes it disappear because I've turned down that. It's all stored in a sort of binary scientific notation. Oh, well, that looks awful. Binary scientific notation. Oh boy, I have never seen that before. I don't even remember my binary. It's been like over 5 years since I've done anything relating to binary. But I can definitely see where the complications come in if you have to worry about storing things in a funky ass binary. Do you want the soft one? Turning that into decimals a lot, especially because binaries are very imperfect. Really? I figured binary would be one of the ones that would actually sit properly. Can't actually store 0.3. Oh, only 2.29 infinitum. That's not great. Ow. Alright, now for you. I do want to do... Oh, right. This is the kind of situation where I guess in theory. Oh boy. That's why. Hard brush. That's even more tricky. It's just endless weird things to consider. Well, computers are magic in a way, and considering you are the math witch, I'm sure you'll be able to get to it, or get to the ending of this problem eventually. That works. Um, it's a little smaller. I know at least I have a minor amount of knowledge when it comes down to programming shenaniganry. So I've had to think about the problems before, but never in a high margin of success, I suppose. By reading the papers, because someone else much smarter than you can come up with sort of good solution. Yeah, and then once you're able to nail it down, then you'll be able to... There's something in the middle of my screen. Oh. Whoops. Well, telling me VNyan was updating again. Keep forgetting about how often that thing actually updates, and since it's working on a bunch of the... kind of. It was more just because of the swap... Oh, wait, right. I forgot I can do that now. Because of the swap to VNyan, it was more a... Hey, VNyan's updated. You should make sure to update your VNyan. Yeah. But I haven't needed to because the latest updates have been regarding the 2D compatibility stuff, and since I am a three-dimensional object, unlike the other people, I don't need to worry about that. Now, what else would I want to do with this panel? Oh yeah, the grid. This is going to get visually tricky for a little bit, because working with a checkerboard pattern is probably not the best visual option here. But I very much like checkerboard patterns, so I would like to have this here in a way. Okay, are we long now? Now I just gotta go down. And then one more. And then we put you there. All right. So now we've got a grid covering everything. That does cover the outside ring as well, so I might clean that up. But two things I wanted to attempt with this. Doot. I wanted to see if I could, like, inflate that, just so it's not, like, just a static. Why don't we do this? Create folder. Oh, there's your visual fuckery for the day. My eyes can't even handle that. Let's see. A bulge. How do you fisheye lens in Clip Studio? Oh, hello. Apparently I'm going to need to make that a lot stronger to make that work. I guess I'll have to make that bigger. Also, what kind of fisheye lens is that? Is it the radius? Sorry, I've never actually used the fisheye tool before. So I am trying to... Ah, that's why. Okay. That's why it was looking weird. So what is radius supposed to do then? It doesn't really hit anything. Hmm, weird. That is giving the effect I wanted it to, though. I guess I just need to make it bigger, just so that way it still encompasses the panel. So then if we do this that way... Hey there, Nano. Welcome in. And good luck with your animation. Oof. Oh, is that because I've got both on? There we go. That's a little better. Good luck with your animating. We're just going to be here doing some panel design nonsense. Because that's definitely what everyone's here for. You're the shadow, you're the actual ring. Okay. A faint checkerboard isn't inherently a bad thing. How did I make that do that, though? I guess that's how. If I make the background brighter, that basically invalidates the brightening I did through the initial layer. That should work. And I guess in theory, this is replicatable because... What if I do this? You know, I would just need to change the shine layer to be more of a white color, and then that would be fine, actually. So let's see here. Can I take out all of the hue in this? Ah, no, you can't. I would just need to change that to any relevant colors that I would be swapping to. Okay. That's at least a decent start, considering this is the old one. Um, what else would we want to do for this, considering this is just a panel? I guess freezing it would help a little bit. How would I get away with freezing it, though? Purple layer. Let's see. If you wanted to add a frost to it, adding an ice layer on top of certain areas wouldn't hurt. I guess a more uniform way of doing this might be... Go here. Oh, not there. There we go. Shrink that by about, I don't know, 100? No, not 100. 60. Invert. And then... Huh. Oh. Yeah, that's gonna have to slink around a little bit to actually preload that. I am getting quite a lot of pings on the Sir Discord. Why are people talking to me? Dooch. Okay, radial's not gonna work. What if we just do... Alright, Gaussian isn't really a super heavy one. That could work. Although it does make it look more like some kind of neon lighting is surrounding this. Oh, right. Um, if I wanted to make it look like frost, it probably wouldn't be quite that uniform. And then that currently does not help because the rivets aren't getting hit by it. But if we put that there, then do that, that will go over top of the rivets. Although you would kind of need solid. Otherwise, this just looks like fade for no reason. Can't appreciate the potential for neon lights, though. Mm, gonna need a text that says that it's me, but still be relatively legible. So no Comic Sans, at least. Oh, you can't even see the text menu. Interesting. The way Clip Studio actually handles itself in terms of being a windowed captured is weird. We? Oh, too high. Hmm. With how big I've made this, I can probably get away with a bit more fun. No. Could probably get away with that one. Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't even keep it. Where was that? I apparently don't have a lot of digital texts, do I? Okay. Yes, let's go with the good old classic of Comic Sans. Da, da, da. You look to be a broken version of Wingding, so that's a no. You know, that actually works a bit. And boldening it is actually not too bad either. That one is even skinnier. That one is tall. Kind of like the semi-tall one. Let's put that up to... Can we get away with 3, actually? No, not 3. 250. This will need to be inside of there. That could work. I believe there would be... I don't think anti-aliasing really matters much with that text. Let's see. Mode won't need to be a thing. Line space is actually what I was looking for. 60? There we go. That's a bit better. I can put that roughly about there. But let's manipulate it a bit since I'll be adding some effects to this in a minute. To 230? So duplicate that. So that way I can draw on top of it. Well, actually, this is going to be something that I don't need to free manipulate, like the thumbnails and whatnot. So I can get away with this a little bit. Okay, you can make that be a little bit ridiculous. Oh, thank you for the hydrating on. Oh, you can't even see half of it because of the tablet placement. Ah. There we go. Yeah. Ice water is very appreciated now that the summer is at least starting to hit. Ooh. Don't think the cracks popped that time, so that's fine. Now, I guess I was setting this up in a way where 2/3 of it was going to be available for the text, and then the first third was just going to have a thing there. But what do I want to put there? For About Me, I could do the eye, since that's always something that is readily available. And at least if I put it somewhere. Oh boy, I didn't. Um, that would work. Um, that's the Discord icon, so people would see that and would be able to link it to me considering the eyes. Now, do I want to manipulate this at all? Could make it glow ever so faintly. I guess another option would be... You go here. Select, invert, select, expand. Whoops. Oh, right, because I'm already selecting the outside. Select, expand, 10. That's a little bit better. Remove that for now. And then... That works fine. This is already a white glow, which is apparently incomprehensible with the border that I put around it. So that can go away. Duplicate, rasterize. That is indeed a little bit of a wow moment. Invert, expand. Let's do the same thing as the other bit. Actually, this part's meant to glow. And then tone it down slightly. It's a minor upgrade from that, at least. What else could I do with these, though? It does feel like it's missing a little bit of spice. Would I want to add my obsession with slimes on this? Artsy fartsy. A little bit. At least I'm trying to make these look a bit decent since they'll just be showing on the page at all times. If I was gonna add the obsession with slime, though, how the hell would I add that on here? It wouldn't really be a healthy way of doing that. Oh, make that smidge brighter. Add drips, like the panel got slimed. Yeah, that could work. Probably would be good to do it personally, per thing. Although I guess I could do it in, like... Oh. Probably should use a better sketching color. I could put it in the breakpoint between where the words and the image, just to break out that 1/3, 2/3 idea that I'm thinking of. Doot. Older. Which would be a good visual break at least. No. There we go. Alright, so would we want to go complement colors on this? The slimes exist in every single color, so I don't see why not. Were to go opposite, we would be like somewhere around here with some kind of piss yellow. Let's make it slightly greener. Since purple and green go well enough together anyhow. Right. Uh-oh. You're not allowed to disappear on me, Solace. I'm watching you. Oh, Solace's stream is just straight up dying. Okay. Hope his internet's holding up all right. It's his own server, so it won't necessarily fault the space engineers. Or it won't break it, at least. Super excited for Mina the Hollower to come out tonight. I thought Mina the Hollower came out already. I thought that was, like, existing in the wild. Is it not? Because I am watching that one as well, because the 2D Game Boy Zeldas were things that I grew up on. So tonight at 9 Pacific. And if I remember times right, that would be midnight for me, so I'm not getting to it anytime soon. Actually, if it's not coming out until midnight my time, then I guess I won't worry about it too much for now. You back the starter and we just got our keys today. Ah, very nice. But they still don't unlock until that time. I guess that's fair when you think about it. They can't just magically give you immediately or immediate access to it. We'll just fix that manually. I think I only really saw stuff about Mina the Hollower recently, so I didn't really get a chance to back the Kickstarter. But it is definitely a fun one to work with, so I'll definitely be grabbing it. It might be drifting a little bit too far. That could work. .2D top-down Zelda with Game Boy style graphics and Souls-like combat mechanics. Does it have Souls-like combat mechanics? I thought it just had the same kind of mechanics that the... Oh god, what were they called? Oracle of games had. Because I saw the dig mechanics and I saw the jumping mechanics. That stealth felt... That stealth English. That still felt relatively on point for those. I describe it as more Souls-like. Lots of dodge rolls and animation timing. At least the original videos looked like that. I guess I'll have to take another peek at the trailers after. But it should be a good time either way. I've been meaning to dig into the 2D Zelda games for a while now anyways. Uh, there are tutorials I want to look up just so I can actually do this properly, but not sure how I feel about that yet. Oh, too clear. Hmm. But it will be nice once it's out. I know a lot of people are at least excited for it. Oh, right. So at least when it comes down to it, actually, I guess that's one bit of the trivia that I've still got left over. I still have the player manuals for Oracle of Seasons. It wasn't inherently something I needed back then, but I did kind of want to keep it as a collector's item, as it were, since it is just kind of nice having that kind of memorabilia left over. Also, this does just look straight up like acid right now. And I missed pixels in there? Really? Even with a flat brush? Hold on. Up. Oh yeah, and just for tonight's music, since we're kind of just vibing anyways, we are just listening to a chiptune radio that I usually frequent on the YouTubes. Do love me some good chip tunes when I can get them, but I guess it's kind of a weird sticking point. I would like to learn how to make chiptune music myself, but I have not been able to find the time to learn that. Probably make that a little bigger. Oh, Jesus, what? Gotta remember that there is the rim there. Like a little bigger there. Looks more like radioactive piss right now, but we're going in the right direction. How long have I been going? I've been going for about an hour and a half already, haven't I? Well, at the 2 hour mark. Ow, fuck. Ow. People know that I crack my joints a lot, but I'm not sure if any of you ever have that feeling when you're cracking 5 bones in your arm at once. Ow. Okay, we're good. Pick up a tracker software. Suggest Milky Tracker is a decent free one, and watch a tutorial through and then play with it. Milky Tracker, huh? Well, I do appreciate a good glass of milk. To the Google. Open a window so I can check it later. Open source multi-platform fast tracker to compatible music application. That sounds about right. There's definitely other ones out there. Might be a better one for beginners, but that's been around for a long time, and if I remember, has a decent community. Well, I hope it has a decent community, considering the latest news was November of 2024. So it's probably at least not been touched by the creators in a while. But it does seem to have a decent amount of instructions just on that one news post, so probably something I can figure out with that. Thank you for the name. Oh, arm. And we are on you. Alright, so how else can you help in making this not just look like radioactive piss? Um, if I blur you in a less aggressive manner, kinda helps. It's old software. When it's been around for that long, the much you have to update, you think? True, yeah. I would imagine after a while it would just kind of be compatibility issues, if anything. But even then, that doesn't need to happen too often. You know what I should be doing, considering I'm just working in fucking values? I am a robot. I'm intelligent. There we go. So let's get a darker value to add to that. I know there's a decent amount of... Yeah, you can go under. There's a decent amount of older software that I like to fiddle with from time to time, at least, just because of the fact that... Huh. I guess those are both needed. Good. Let's just go there. Yeah, this does essentially just lose clearness at some point. It does still need to be slightly translucent, so... And then this doesn't have anything on it, because I believe that's what I was going to use for the shading. I am on the wrong brush. And then just to make it make sense, you're the one with the harder edges. The light actually eats up enough of that. And I guess it wouldn't hurt to do this, light. Considering you're here. And a little bit of blur work with you. You know, it could look worse. Considering I'm just shooting out my imagination right now. Give me you. Not you. I don't need the pencil shavings for here. Thank you very much. And I guess the only other bit would be... Pure white may not be the answer. If I just do this... no, that does do what I want. Make it be a little bit more applicable. And then this technically would cast a minor shadow against everything. So I guess the best option for that would be going after our solid layer, which is... this one. Duplicate, put it at the bottom. Max it out for now just so I can see it. This is the calmest chill tune I think I've listened to in a good minute. Oh, that didn't work. Now, why didn't you work, buddy? There we go. Doot. That green glow is making this a bit difficult, so... oh. Hey there, Mitchy. Thank you for the work bits. Or I guess it should be post work for you now. But welcome in with the lurk bits. And thank you. We're just doing some shenanigans at the moment. Oh, 15 minutes to go. Okay. You're almost there then. A little bit more, Mitchy. You can do it. You're already past the holiday. Yeah, still a little bit much. But you're making it. Oh, I guess this should also be in a folder. There we go. You had Memorial Day on Monday, didn't you? I'm pretty sure that's a US holiday. Yeah, a day where you gotta remember stuff. Sure, that was a fantastic day where nothing went wrong. You managed to get last weekend off. Even better. It's all you can really hope for. Especially when it comes to the weekends. The text folder? Mm. Oh, nice. You got to meet a nephew. I can't say that... Hold on, just calculating here. No, I don't have nephews yet. So I haven't quite had to worry about it in the immediate moment. Uh, Animals. But I want to put it in here. Well, hopefully it was at least a nice meeting. I know meetings with family can be questionable at times, but they aren't the worst things to happen. I guess do slime layer 1. Up 20. Then 70. Spoiled him and your sister with a trip to the zoo you work at? Very nice. I'm sure they were able to enjoy that. Is there anything else I can do with this? I guess there's an info panel, so I don't really need to add a ton to this. Making panels? Yeah. I realized that I was basically just using panels like these the entire time still, and I think my art skills have upgraded a smidge since that point. So, kind of taking the chance to update those now that I'm at least thinking about them. Honestly, something has completely escaped my brain lately, which was a bit of an oops. But that should work for the About panel. Do, do, do. About me panel. Let me do just a quick check on how this looks on Twitch itself, just to see if there's any adjustments I'll need to make. Whoop. Twitch.tv. Channel. Don't need to immediately go in there. No, I just wanted to go to my main page. I don't need to see my page live. Thank you. Edit. Add image. There and here. Yeah, that doesn't look good. Oh. Image will be scaled to 320 pixels wide. So if that's the case, let's see. That does crunchify it a decent chunk. But I did draw the thing to be fairly large scaling. So hard edges, smooth edges? Still crunchifies it a little bit, but in a slightly more acceptable manner. Small. Add image. The small one. Submit. Yeah, that still holds up relatively well after being loaded to Twitch. Although the checkerboard pattern, not so much. Checkerboard pattern needs to be bigger for it to be seen, I guess. Mm. I guess it's noticeable if your eyes are probably better than mine, but I guess I should make that a little more obvious. Doot. Okay, go here. Get rid of that for the moment. We've got the checker layer. So make those a bit bigger from the start. And then get rid of all that. Actually, no, can't do that yet. Doot. Distort. Fisheye. Okay, that should be a little bit more obvious. Although it does do that. Interesting, it only cut out what was available within the panel itself. Doot. Nope, gotta do that here. Okay. Maybe move that down to 60% opacity. File, export PNG. There. Making them big and then crunchifying them down isn't inherently a bad thing. Open. Change resolution. Casual 5% scale, what I just drew. That less crunchifies it, so that's probably fine. All right, edit. Add image. Just a smidge different, but should read a little better, that there's the checkerboard pattern there. Yeah, checkerboard pattern's a bit noticeable now. And there's a little bit of drippy green nonsense. Okay. I think what would work for now is I'll keep the panels purple, but I'll switch up the colors of the slime each time, just to make it a little bit more readable. And I only need to make 4, so it's not a huge concern. Still, got a relatively good layout on it so far, so that's definitely a good thing. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if you've seen the thread I put in FictionCraft or the discussion I had before about it, Mitchie, but I've been designing the slime race for my written universe, which involves a few different colors of slimes. That'd still be in my reasons. Yeah. So I've made a few different colors of slimes to work with. Just a few. Probably grab some of the more important ones, but I'll avoid the white slime because I don't want Twitch calling me out for my panels looking like they have cum dripping from them. I did notice how different colors eat different things. Yeah. The general idea behind it isn't more that they focus on eating those things once they become sentient. It's just what they ate before they ate a soul and became sentient. So it's kind of like a general stat block of. What did I have up? I had Holly up, or Gwyneth up. Based on what they eat before they eat a soul, will judge basically what color they end up coming out as. Holly's Gwyneth's not the best example. Juicy is though. But yeah, general idea is just as an inert baby slime, which is this little guy over here. Oops, I need a drawing tool. So all the slimes basically like that normally. Then they have their little consumption spree, and then they eat a living soul, and then they birth into a sentient colored slime based on whatever they ate. For her, it was drugs, so she came out red. Apparently, I ended up accidentally copying a system from somewhere else, so that was a bit of an oopsie, but it's how I want the system to work, so I'm gonna accidentally copy it, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's my written universe anyways, so what I say goes. But it has been a couple hours now, so I guess I should take a quick break. We've at least got a general idea about where we need to go with the other panels, so I'll be back in like 10 minutes or so. Stretch and grab a drink if you need to, and I'll be back. There we go. Hello again, all. Hopefully you're taking care of yourselves. All right, let's get back to... Oop. About me. There we go. Making this nice and accessible. Alright, so what panels do we need to make? About me was one, chat rules. Chat rules should be relatively easy, but I'll have to do a bit of drawing for that one. Up. Create a folder. Chat rules. I'm sure I can figure it out. Chat. Oh, right, I didn't really have a capital before, did I? Capital makes more sense, though. Wouldn't be character spacing, would be this. Do 80, I'm pretty sure that was too much. Hmm. Actually, no, I can go higher. I just need to bump it up. Okay. That, like, just barely makes it, but you know what? We'll take it. There we go. That's a little cleaner. Move that a little closer to the bolt. We duplicate you. We rasterize. We go all in and around. Invert. And we should just be able to expand that by 10. No, may have been 20. Dude. And then we bump that down to that. Cool beans. And then I won't have a specific thing for this, but how would we define chat rules as an icon? Before I made a relatively crude looking chat bubble, but do we want to try emulating the Ragnarok Online chat bubble? That could work. Up. Chat bubble. Ragnarok Online chat bubble. I guess, yeah. A Ragnarok Online emoji. Emoticon. Emotes works. Copy. Create new from clipboard. That should work out okay. That's on K. All right. Don't. That should be all right, but let's clean it up a little bit just to be safe. I wanted to go to the brush tool friend. Thank you. Brain still thinks in orders of pixel art anyways, so the sizing isn't anything too drastically new. There we go. All right, now, what's the order of operations with this? I guess we need a slight fade around this. So, select everything outside of it, new layer, select, invert, not invert. We have this as this kind of a layer. We add a gray to the entire outside of this thing. And then I am abusing the Gaussian blur a lot while doing this, but it's just the tool that I prefer. Select, shrink by like 200? No, too much. Shrink by 100. That's still a bit too much. That's probably manageable. Oh. Invert. That should work out okay. Would we want to add a warm color to that? Yeah, that works. Looks like that's just off-white. Whoop. Okay. Now I just need to do a question mark. What color would we want to make this question mark? I was thinking of doing red slime for this one, so it probably should be something that goes against that. Which would be lighter blue. We can make that work. That way can work, but I don't want to go too thick. Um, that works. Not a blue snake, just a question mark. May as well make references to Ragnarok Online where I can as well. Was the MMO that brought me up through childhood. What's this for? These are panels for the Twitch page specifically. I'm not sure how much you've explored the Twitch panels yourselves, Nano, but you scroll down and there's just like all the spare text and all that. I haven't updated them in a while, so they're looking kind of bland and pitiful. So I am attempting to upgrade them at the moment. With my all accumulated art knowledge that I've had for over the past 5 years or so. You just put me the about me down? Yes. That is the one we finished just before the 2 hour mark. So I figured it was fine to put it up there just to see if it worked for, like, in general work. And I think it does. The crunch on it wasn't too painful.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot that I had that bassy ass ooh woo in there. The bass and that ooh woo. Hey, I mean, sometimes you need to have a girthy ass ooh woo. Can't have every cat girl on the planet doing it. There we go. I guess that needs to be a little bit brighter to be noticeable. went from purple to cyan. Any particular reason? Uh, Opposite way. Going from cyan to purple. But more so just to add brighter colors to these bits to have them pop out more. And since they're on a dark background in my image for the heathens that use light mode Twitch, it won't necessarily read poorly either. The current chat rules section has a purple question mark? Yeah. Uh, okay. So yeah, in that manner, do you think a purple question mark would work on this background specifically? I don't think it would, personally. Yeah, it's just all purple now. That would mainly be why. I don't really think a purple question mark would work very well with the background being purple, so having something that is on a different scale would probably help it out a little bit. And I mean, you know me, I like purple. That's why the default hair color on Jude is purple. Even though there's so many different colors available to work with. Foods consumed, very nice. What'd you end up having for foods? None. Eh. I was a wee bit lazy today and just used a semi-prepared meal. But it had chicken and noodles, so carbs and proteins and all that. I hope the absorption was suffice. So far, at least. I'm not feeling too hungry. I also had some cheese during the break. Some leftover mapo tofu you made last night with edamame. Edamame is that salted green bean thing, if I'm remembering correctly. Sounds pretty good. I just made a semi-quick fettuccine alfredo and added some pre-cooked chicken to that. So nothing outstanding, but is enough to fill you up a good bit. You know what? This isn't that. Thank you. This is the base layer. And then we need to go down. For them good old shadows. Edamame is young soybeans, usually salted and served in shell. Wrong brush. But it has some pre-shelled he had steamed. Ah, okay. Well, certainly good to have them available. And I hope they were delicious. can't say I've really looked into tofu. Mainly because I just don't see it when I'm shopping, but I guess I just haven't had a reason to really make it. Very delicious and extremely filling. Well, filling is definitely appreciated. Does Walmart sell tofu? It probably does, but since I've been doing a lot of online shopping lately, it doesn't really sit in any like tangential categories where I would see it. So it's just not something that would immediately pop up for me. You bet most grocery stores sell tofu. In the store, at least, it's usually in the produce section. That would make sense. Although I feel like a lot of the tofu that I've seen here when I did go like into the store itself, it was usually in a more refrigerated section than where produce was. I know there is like produce specific refrigeration as well, but I feel like it was just always separated from there. Okay, there's one layer each of light and dark. You light two. Oh geez. It could definitely be in other places. You just see it most often there most often yourself. That would make the most sense, actually. Yeah. In the salad section or pre-cut fruit, which, unless you desperately need to, you shouldn't be buying pre-cut fruit. Although I am a little lazy just because I don't feel like dicing my own peaches for snacks. So that I do at least get because they're in handy little cups. I don't have to worry about portion sizing because they've already done that for me. Or if there's a dedicated veggie section. Yeah, dedicated vegetarian sections are where I would usually see them. I don't go to those sections, so I pass by them, but since I eat a relatively carnivore-based diet, not carnivore, sorry, relative omnivore-based dieting, I don't need to go to the dedicated vegetarian section for much. Dark 2. You will be a layer. Yeah, man. And we need darker. Is there anything that I would usually get if I was to go to the veg section? Nothing I can immediately think of, at least. You're not a vegetarian yourself, but tofu is really good for certain dishes and just a solid low-fat protein source. Yeah, I guess that's true. A lot of the fat is kind of reduced out of tofu, isn't it? Actually, no. Tofu is made from soybean, so it wouldn't really have... Does soybean have a lot of fat? Hold on. Google. Nutritional facts about soy beans. Okay, yeah. I would say I try to eat less meat. There's some fat, just not much compared to animal protein. Yeah. Since it's made from beans, and beans don't really have too much fat in them, at least. Definitely a good source of protein, though. So I guess for bulking goals, maybe a relatively good thing. Ow. Relatively good thing to add in there. There's no saturated fat or cholesterol to worry about, so much better for the heart. Oh yeah. That is a relatively good bonus, actually. A lot of people need to actually worry more about their heart health. And that's one of the dangers of a carnivore diet. You get a lot of saturated fat there. That should be alright. Oh boy, what did that do? Well, that should work. Although, the shading from the balloons kinda screws with that a little bit. I guess it does kind of read like it's coming off of the balloon, which kind of helps it. I should make it the same color as the chat balloon just to make it safe. That way it just looks like it's popping out of there. That should work out relatively alright. Now we just gotta add a little bit of drip drip and make sure it doesn't look too much like blood. Red slime. Alright. So same general idea, but we're not just going to copy one-to-one what we did for the green. I guess I am not the picturesque version of health, so I can't really give any of the fancy recipes that I know of just because I don't really know that many in the first place. But as you can see within the food channel, I am attempting to learn to cook better. Not that that is progressing very fast, but I am trying. But a personal bias for red sauce things or just Italian-esque pasta setups tends to be relatively nice to me. That's partly what I'm trying to figure out first. Learning to cook was such a joy. You wish I had that much sooner. Oh, same. Don't worry. Very much same. I had next to zero actual teaching when I was younger, so I have to basically learn everything on my own, which is not simple to do, unfortunately. This is probably going to look like blood no matter what I do. Just embrace it. Let's see. Okay. We'll use you for the brighter color. Okay. Palette. I guess now would be a relatively good time to... Well, what was the setup for the green slime? The hard layer was the one I'm pretty sure was at 20%. And we duplicate that. We put this at 70. We do that. And then what was the 50% layer? Light 2. Light 1. Shadow 1. Hard layer. Heavy gauze layer. Minor gauze layer. And shadow. All right. Duplicate. And then 50. I think that works for translucency's sake. Let's try and name these appropriately. Heavy gauze layer. Minor gauze layer. Hard copy. I guess this will be light 1. God damn it. Really a single pixel in there? There's a couple pixels. Anything else? No? Okay. We're Gucci. Alright, grab our first bit of light, and then we go a little bit calm just to add some lights to this, as well as making the hard copy a 20% layer. Time is it? It's nearly 10 o'clock? The only problem with the current setup, at least, is that I can't see how long I've been streaming for. just because the live timer on OBS is incredibly fucking tiny. But we will be going for roughly 4 hours, and then we'll see if we can find an art friend to raid, since we are at least working on art. Oh, wow. I'm half tempted to just mention to Solace that he has, like, almost every toggle on at the moment. Although I guess he's mentioned in the past that the shortcut keys for Space Engineers does kind of take up a good bit. Ooh. And now he's big, just as I say that. Okay. Nice. Go. Solace is a big cat. Oh, jeez, that was off. Here we go. Okay, I think I'm avoiding it looking like blood, so we're doing all right. A little brighter. This will be... Come on. Light 2. I guess with the way I set it up, you can't actually see my layers, so it's a good thing I'm not working on VTuber models, because you won't get to see the chaos of my workflow. I guess you can see the edges. That's fine, though. Light 2. This is where we get... a little bit brighter with it. Hey there, Wetside. Thank you. Don't worry about the typing mismatch. I'm just focusing on this stuff right now, so I can't quite hear Solace. Mainly because if I were to, you'd be able to hear it through this audio channel. Up. I can only wear so many pairs of headphones before I start going a little bit insane, so you'll have to forgive me for not hearing at the moment. In multi-stream streaming. Oh, that would be chaos if you just started listening to another person's stream. It's not completely unheard of, as I know some of the bigger streamers do that occasionally when they're just trying to like bug their friends. But we don't need to bug Solace, at least not right now. Here we go. It doesn't look like blood, which is mainly what I'm trying to avoid. And then if they have their stream on your stream and it makes you stream echo chamber, yeah, you gotta be really careful about the echo chamber, unfortunately. That does just kind of come with the territory, though. Is funny when it happens, but tends to be a little bit chaotic. Oh yeah, right, I haven't done shadows yet. That's why it's looking a little bit funky. Shadows 1. How's the art going? It's going all right so far. We're kind of just working on panels at the moment, just because, I mean, you can see the fairly ancient ones at the bottom of the page already, but kind of upgrading from the old ones to slightly better drawn ones, or at least slightly better composed ones. So I think that's a bit of an upgrade, at least personally speaking. So I'm just slowly working away at those since I need to redo the 3 that exist and do one more for additional rulings and such. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't sure if I was going to use the purple gear for anything, just because I kind of like having this semi-static purple background for all of these, but we'll see. I think that's relatively okay for chat rules. The slime doesn't need to be like super apparent, it's just kind of there to break up between the icon and the words. Just so that way your eyes kind of are drawn to the weird color that goes away from the purple. This is gonna be chat rules panel. And then I just need to make it small. This, change that from 6300 to just 320. I do need to make sure I'm changing the right thing, though. Okay, it is average color. Don't change number of pixels. Up. Okay. It's a little bit crunched, but not crunched enough to make a huge difference. Save as small. Oh, There we go. Clip Studio did not like that as much. All right, edit panels. Add image. Chat rules small. Submit. Come on, Twitch. I know you can do it. Well, I guess while that's uploading, good time to take a drink. Why is that taking so long, though? And we've got about an hour left, so we might be able to get just the third one done. Which is the social link one. Social links. Bop. Don't save. The checkerboard stencil is fine. That. Social links. What ones do I even have in there now? Blue Sky, Discord, and Twitter? X, formerly known as. So I guess I would need the Twitter icon, the Blue Sky icon, and a Discord icon. And then dress them up in a fun way. Yeah, those look pretty decent next to each other. There's uniformity now. Nice purple blend. The font is relatively the same. The slime helps differentiate the two as well as the icons related to the thing. I think I'm doing all right. Bop. All right, now I need to do some icon hunting. Discord icon PNG. There's so many options. I guess people have been manipulating the Discord icon for their own servers, haven't they? Okay. Get rid of that and that. I'm gonna have to fit 3 in here, so let's not do any shenanigans just yet. Discord icon. Now we need the blue sky icon PNG, which is just a nice little butterfly. Oops. Oh, you're a bit bigger. Okay. Let's try and make it similar sizes to what we've got the Discord icon, just so that way we can cheat ever so slightly. Huh. That was weird. Toot. It's not liking it when I lock transparency. Huh. That's new. Oh, nope. Merge with layer below. Blue sky icon. And then X, right? Twitter X icon PNG. Duplicate. Oh. Okay. This is the X icon. Size that up a smidge. Okay. So that gives us our 3. So how do we want to arrange these? You should be at the bottom because Elon Musk is an asshole and doesn't deserve to be at the upper layer. Discord is probably the easiest place to get a hold of me, but and then let's do a little bit of an order of importance thing going on here. You go to the bottom of the stack. Make you a little bigger to fit in with the frame, but you will be the biggest one just for the cohesion. Okay. And then I'm gonna need you again. And then social links. Social links with a capital. Then we duplicate that, rasterize it. Select, invert, expand, 20. Make that bitch white. A little bit of spinning, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta appreciate the spin cycle. I think 80 is fine there. And then this gets put down to about 65. You just melted your brain crunching numbers on Satisfactory for a few hours. Well, that is the rough focus of Satisfactory, so can't really fault you there. I believe I own Satisfactory, but I haven't really played it. Friends are back together after like 4 months away. Been shrimping a bit much. Oof. Well, it's good that the friends are back together at the very least. So you've got a hosted server then? Just so that way y'all can play together? Ah, very nice. Well, Satisfactory is generally a better game with friends, or at least so I can imagine. Got the one actually doing useful stuff instead of building trains all day. I mean, there's nothing wrong with building trains. Come on now, Frank. Trains are cool. You always need at least one person building those. You already screwed up and had to rework stuff. This one train saved me some commute after you died while minimized doing math. Well, see, there you go. Train already proved useful. I can't really add shading to the Twitter icon. Thought I was in a safe spot, but the enemy aggroed from super far away and started eating rocks. Well, damn, you gotta be careful about rocks. Oh, Solace is done, and Solace is coming in here. Hey, there's Solace, buddy. Welcome in. Hopefully the evening treated you well. You need to shout yourself out now, by the by. But I was watching while you're playing. But I couldn't hear you, so what exactly were you fiddling with specifically? Because I saw a bit of shipbuilding. Oh boy, there's artifacting everywhere out here. Well, that's not good. Tolerance go burr. Oh. Thank you, Solace, for shoving yourself in the freezer for the 61st month. That frostbite's gonna be nasty on you once you actually get that looked into. Oh. Really? I'm surprised that actually didn't take. You're making slightly better flying box today? Well, slightly better is definitely nice. I saw Jason's commentary of 10 casual thrusters on the thing, so I'm assuming that's at least part of it. Well, I guess I probably should try and like staple these in too, shouldn't I? Should I take reference off of enamel pins? Enamel pins might be a good spot. Uh, folder. Put you in here. Okay. You're running the numbers on how many thrusts you need to fight gravity if the cargo hold was full. Oh, so you're doing something similar to what Frank was doing then. Lovely. Everyone's so busy crunching numbers. Okay, yeah, that works. Invert. Expand. Let's do a rim of 40. Yeah, that'll work. Not a new document. Eh. New layer, why are you fighting me? There we go. When I had to think about it, all I accomplished tonight was setting down 20 refineries and hooking up pipes and belts. The rest was math and having an existential crisis. I mean, what's a little gameplay without some existential crisis? That's just normal. Especially when you have to play a game revolving around math. Alright, so if we're thinking about enamel pins here. Invert. Filter, blur. I don't need a ton there, but enough for it to be noticeable. Got all the math done. Just got to fuel 30 power plants, which is going to take up so much space. I mean, it's only 30 power plants. It can't be that bad. It's got to be less space than the current AI data filter or data centers are taking. Stack them vertically? Exactly. Oh, okay. I was wondering for a second because I got the pop-up on my other window saying I made progress watching my own stream, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Twitch? It's because I had the Sir account watching Solace, so it's the first time the Sir account is watching this stream. Up. And we want to do... Actually, no, this is fine. Oh boy, this is not what I want to be doing. Okay. We do this for now. Let's see. I'm working on a lake, so she'll just be able to destroy the ecosystem by completely covering it with platforms. Yeah, that sounds about accurate. Here. Okay, that should work. And then what we do is... Oh, not that layer, this one. Select expand by like 5? I don't need to cut off much. Nah, a little more. 10. That's better. Okay. That works, but it probably needs to be brighter. Just because of all the blurring we've been doing. Well, I'm trying not to overuse the overclock, but I might need to overclock some of them. Well, when it comes to factory builders, at least, you know, it never hurts to abuse the environment a little bit. I guess that's kind of a question that I haven't really checked because I've only really touched on Factorio, but does Satisfactory try and eat your face as well if you're taking too long? Power crystals are finite, and I don't want to hog them if you can just make more space. No time constraints in Satis? Okay. If there's no time constraints in Satisfactory, that's pretty good at least. Oh god, do I want to curse myself a little bit? Hold on. Oh boy, that would get complicated relatively quickly. Just let that infinitely chain for a second. Just print more time. Exactly. You can probably print some time, at least if you're taking it calmly. Actually, I need you for a second. I need you as a color swatch, Sandra. Up. Social buttons. There we go. If clocking takes something like 150%, makes it equal to the input, that's worth it. Yeah, 150% is usually a good number to aim for if you have the option to, at least. And you're only destroying the environment a little bit, and I'm sure no one... That's the right one. I'm sure no one will complain if you're destroying the environment too much. It's not like there's enough news about that right now. You can overclock up to 250, but you need one crystal per 50%. Ugh. Yeah, and then getting 5 crystals worth is a bit much, isn't it? Oh, wait, I don't need this up anymore. I guess I can keep this up just for visual acuity, just to see how the stream's looking. Well, it's 3 crystals, 100% is normal. You can also underclock. I mean, being able to underclock is certainly handy. Palette. Alright, what do we want to do with the alcohol slime color? Up. It's most important when they're byproducts that can jam up your system. If it's a simple in and out, who cares? The machine goes on and off. True, yeah. If you've got simple machinery, you don't need to think about too many complications when it comes to setting up the factory for it. Oh, geez. I think I was drawing all that in one stroke. There we go. This game is why I find Enfield factories very easy. The Enfield factories are pretty easy by default, so that's not inherently a wrong take. But yeah, having any prior knowledge to a factory game like Factorio Satisfactory, I don't want to say RimWorld, but there's probably others that I can think of. Just nothing's really coming to mind right now. But as long as you've been able to play at least one of those kinds of games already, you should be good. There we go. And then we just follow the edge of the Blue Sky logo. Oh, that's a big paragraph that I missed. Let's see. Working on turbo fuel. Going roundabout refinement as the oil. Oh boy. I'm working on turbo fuel right now. I'm going a roundabout refinement method of the oil and making plastic and rubber and getting heavy oil residue after instead of just straight fuel. Residue goes from 60 of it to 40 of fuel. Turbo fuel uses 22.5 of fuel to make 18.75 a minute of turbo fuel. Yeah, that math definitely sounds a bit rough, but I'd imagine that's why you're having the existential crisis in the first place. Easiest to just find the closest round number and then underclock the last machine. Yeah, that sounds about right. The chaos of factories. Sure, a good number of us know that point well enough by this point. And I guess in a way, we did kind of overclock, or we did overclock a decent amount in Factorio, didn't we? Should probably add a little bit more juice here. Kind of making it look more like honey at the moment, but this is much easier than turning bauxite into aluminum. I'm very glad my friend did the last batch. Well, that's partly why you want to play that game together with others. I think that's the point where I'd be happy with just not underproducing something, even if it means just 2.5 minutes ahead to save me the headache of working the out-to-integer ratio. Yeah. All right. Yellow slime. This is the hard layer. We duplicate this a couple times. The first one goes to 20%. The problem with that is the byproducts backup and you just stop your production. Ship the byproducts to Canada. God, I wish your stuff actually got sent here without too many problems. Heavy Goss. Minor Goss. This one goes to 20. This one goes to 70. This one goes to 50. Then you get like 40. Okay. Good start. At least if the products are solid, you can just throw them straight in a trash can. Oh, cool. It's good that yeah, English. It's good to know that you at least have a trash can available to you. Liquids are where it starts to hurt, and aluminum is heavy on liquid. Really? Well, why would aluminum specifically be heavy on the liquid? Brush. Hmm. I figured that would show up more. Oh, well, it is going. Let's put it here instead. Real Boschite refinement has a lot of nasty byproducts. And yeah, Solace, you probably should hit the hay. Enjoy your sleep, buddy, and thanks for raiding in. We'll just be fiddling around a little bit here. I guess not for much longer, either. Um, light one. Gotta make sure the slime has at least some level of alcohol-y focus, I suppose is the best wording. What were the light layers at again? Oh, I just had that capped right at a hundo. Um, that shade is not gonna work well. Oh. All right. I guess we at least got the right color, so maybe let's not fuss around too hard with trying to make the maple lager part work. Let's just try and avoid making it look like piss. Oh, that was the green palette. That's supposed to go there. You start with Boschite and add water. Okay. Always good to have a basic chemical reaction with water. You get a luminous solution and silica. Well, we all know about silica gel. You need to add coal to the solution to get aluminum scrap and water. You then add the silica to the scrap for aluminum ingots. Okay. So you gotta play around with it a little, but there is a pathway. Oh, wait, shit. That's a soft brush. That should be okay. You can kind of loop the water back into the first part, but it's sketchy. You can use silica byproducts for the ingot, but it's not enough on its own. Your solution for the water is just bring in limestone and turn the water into cement and then toss it in the trash. Oh boy. Well, I mean, that's a way to get rid of excess water, so it's not entirely a bad thing to do. Although, can you not use the cement for anything useful? Good timing, Omega. I'll gladly take your cement water to drink with. You can, but limestone is so plentiful that you don't bother. Well, I guess if there's not much point, then you don't need to focus it down. Sorry, Blue Sky, you're getting added to the slime this time. You get your friend to do the last limestone line by promising to work on something less painful. Well, it's certainly not a bad idea to make deals with your buddies. You forgot what it was, though? Uh-oh. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite you. Arguably it shouldn't, but this was 4 months ago, so pretty hard to remember. That's fair. This. We then go brighter. That's supposed to go on this layer, so I can get rid of it later. Actually, that's better. Light 2. You gotta set on all the ammo, jetpack fuel, and bombs you'll need for the rest of the game. There you go, you're the warp supplier. That's something to be proud of for most of the time, at least. There we go. I don't like doing the big factories. I like to do the resource. Oh, the resources and small useful production lines, like nuclear grenades. Well, those are definitely useful production lines. I too enjoy a good nuclear grenade when insects are trying to eat my home. They are so slow to produce, but we're ready for nuclear power plant, as well as my work on that. Well, there you go. As long as the power plant's ready, you should be good for just about anything. God, I'm really trying to avoid making this look like piss, but... Actually, no, we should be fine. If anyone's piss is this color, you desperately need to see a doctor. Once you unlock particle enrichment? Ah, okay. Yeah, particle enrichment sounds important. The secret of the ooze is piss, huh? Well, when it comes down to it, kinda. I'm kind of just adding slime on top of everything because of my love of the slimes, as we discussed before when we were working on this one. So all of these are just going to have slime dripping off them, and any newer panels that I have will also have slime dripping off of them. I'm kind of just going in the color that I feel like complements the icons in the current moment. Which for all of the social links, because those are mostly blue right now, we're going to go with piss. Channel description will say lover of slime. I probably should change one of those tags, because one of them is Team Catgirl Milk, isn't it? Can I say Team Slime Girl Milk instead? That would probably be more up my alley. Team Slime Girl Milk. Add tag. You sure can say that. I will. It is now added and should be visible on Twitch in a couple of seconds. Slime girls need milked too. Yeah. It doesn't help that when we were working on the Sandra drawing, it was noted that I made the orange slime specifically be the producers of excess liquids, and none of the definitions for slime mentioned the reproductive seed. So I did have a bit of a shower thought on what a production seed slime would look like, and that is now stuck in my brain for the moment. So in theory, correct, you can, in fact, milk some of the slime. There. And then we go down. Then I get rid of that again, just so I can put that on the palette. I addressed something with my cat for 2 minutes, and you're talking about milking slimes. Apologies, Frank. As I mentioned in a few places, unfortunately Jude rhymes with lewd, so I'm not exactly ignoring the fact that my brain works in awful ways. I just don't talk about it because I try to keep my channel relatively PG. Not purely PG, but relatively. Up. Need you to get a little bit bigger just to deal with this one. Relatively, as in milking your relatives. Oh boy, no. No incest here. It's not usually a tag I look out for, at least. See, you even got Frank running now, Omega. Look what you did. Add a little bit there. But we're just about done with this. So that'll at least get the original 3 panels done, and then I'll just have to work on a 4th one for the new block, just for all of the extra materials that we're using now that I'm on Vignon. Just noticed your most recent follow. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what's in there. Huh. I wonder if that person got auto-blocked or something like that, because I don't even remember that one. What is that, spontaneous male pregnancy? Huh. Yeah, maybe that one got auto-kicked or blocked. Unfortunately, Seriblock does tend to block bots, but the Twitch API still has their name on record, even if they get banned from the channel, which is a little bit silly. There we go. That kind of matches up with the other ones, so that's relatively all right. All right, let's get this one exported, and then I will upload it to Twitch. This is the social links panel. We make a gigantic thing like that. Nah, that's just what Jude's overlay says by default when no one follows for an hour. God, that would be saying that for years, Omega. I haven't gotten proper follow in a while. We've been stuck at 492 for a good amount of time, unfortunately. Well, 492, 493. Social link. Then we change image resolution. We shrink this to about 5% of the original value. Little bit crunchy, but it's fine for the Twitch panel. Save as. Small. Yes, I'm aware layers won't be taken into account. And then you can't see this, but I'm going over to my browser at the moment. Adding an image. Social link small. Dunzo. Submit. Cool beans. Isn't it nice when it's just uniform? I do need to fix up, or at least make one for object sources, but I wasn't fully planning on getting all 4 done tonight anyways, because I wasn't sure how long the base would end up taking me. There we go. About me, chat rules, social links, each with a relevant iconic picture, relevant title, and a little bit of juice alongside it. That's basically what I was shooting for anyhow. And it looks a lot better than what we had before. Cool beans. Probably about all the juice that I've got for tonight, so why don't we take some time and try to find someone to raid? Oh god, art tax is going to be awkward with this one, I'm realizing. Uh, I could probably just show what I had before. It's fine. Now, who's drawing tonight? Eggy's on tonight. It's actually a couple of folks on tonight. Um, yeah, I guess we got options. Um, you're labeled as art, but you're clearly playing Spire. Whitechapel, come on, bro. Fuck it. We haven't seen bro in a hot minute anyhow. Up. Easy enough call. Well, hopefully everyone had a lovely evening. I'll be back again tomorrow, presumably with Cyberpunk, because I would like to finish that at some point. We'll have to see how that goes, though. Friday is always a little bit questionable on how much energy I actually have. But either way, take care of yourselves. Try to actually eat something, drink something, do what you need to do. Just please don't wither away on me, please. But for now, I'll talk with y'all tomorrow. So for now, bye-bye.